Bertrand Russell and Whitehead spent 300 pages or whatever it was proving that 1 + 1 is 2.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then it was realized that you can't define things by axioms anyway, because there's no such thing as proving that an axiom system is consistent. Gödel
Yeah.
proved that.
Yes. The
So
Gödel's
there is,
incompleteness
yes.
theorem.
So this search for justified truth, even in pure mathematics, where you might think that, true, there's unambiguous truth about numbers 2 and 1 and equals and plus and so on, but it's not true. That whole system is just a conjecture.
Okay, so to be clear, when you say we can't have truth, you're not implying that, there is no truth and
No,
truth and
no.
falsity. You mean literally that we can't have it. It's there. It's just that we can
Yes.
never have it because we'll only have
Yes.
something like half truth. So for example, if I said to somebody, like every Homo sapiens, every human being under the age of 6 is an ape. That's true.
Yes.
But it's like there's something missing from that picture. It's kind of misleading. It's going to lead us into all sorts of trouble if I'm not more clear. And so, okay, what I mean to say is that every human being is an ape, but then that itself will rely on understandings of what like taxonomy is and categories. And if you really want to get the fullness of truth in every possible respect that could even possibly be relevant to that statement, you'd probably basically require like infinite knowledge, right? Because you would need to understand how language works, you'd need to understand taxonomy, you'd need to understand like the philosophy of taxonomy, you'd need to understand whether objects can exist, you'd need to study mereology and parts, and you'd need to know all of this.
Exactly.
And the only reason that we don't, on a practical level, need that is because on a practical level, we only ever go so deep.
We only ever go as deep as is needed to solve the problem that we're currently solving.
I see. And so knowledge becomes relatively practical because if you can't have knowledge in the sense that the philosophers define it, then when people are talking about things that they know, they're getting at something slightly different, which is like a practical certainty or a practical confidence, maybe.
Well, practical is the wrong word because it need not be have any practical application as in vacuuming your carpet. Yeah. It might be an issue of pure mathematics. It might be an issue of pure mathematics that only you are interested in,
right?
And yet it's still knowledge.
Yeah.
What we are seeking is knowledge, but it's not truth. We can find knowledge in the sense that we can correct existing knowledge by removing errors. So, and that's what the growth of knowledge always is. It's always removing errors. When I realize what you meant by first left and second right, it's by removing the misconception that I had before. It's not that what you told me is false or that the idea that I had is entirely false through and through. It contained truth. Both of them contained truth. Both of them contained error. To get to my destination, it's enough if I remove errors to the extent that they are relevant to the problem that I want to solve.
Is there anything that you know is true, like in the Cartesian sense of I think therefore I am, and maybe that's all I can know with certainty, but like is there anything that comes to mind that you could say I know?
I don't. I think Descartes was I can think of things that are more certain than that, which are still not certain. There is no such thing as certain truth. Descartes was already assuming that such a thing as I exists. And yet these experiments with memory, first of all, memory is in any case consists of confabulation. So when we remember something, what we're really doing is conjecturing what happened using the structures in our brain as clues to test our conjectures against. And this process is fallible. And in particular, the statement, I think, is extremely fallible, because there are now experiments you can do to show that people have false memories of having thought something that they couldn't possibly have thought, because they didn't know the thing they were thinking about, that they thought they were thinking about at the time.